Okay, you are on camera.
Okay, continue, it says. Right, well, so if I'm working with a client now, because I didn't really want to pay for the Zoom thing where I can have multiple participants, I would get kicked out at 40 minutes if I used a second computer. So now, if you've just mentioned somebody and you are looking to select objects,
Oh, fantastic.
so you can direct me to pick the object. Let's say you choose that one,
Yes.
and then I would move to this screen where we'd have placeholders. So placeholders are visible all the time.
Yep.
Okay. And then obviously you might want more placeholders, but if we were to do movies, you'd, sorry, I just pressed the wrong, you'd go back, choose the objects for the movie,
Yes.
and then we would do the movie here.
Fantastic.
And then once the movie has been done, we'd have this screen, which means that you've got the placeholders and the movie in sight.
Yep.
And it's all kind of very seamless, and people love it. It's really working. Clients are kind of happy.
Looks really impressive.
And it's not that complicated. It's just technically got some glitches which have to be overcome. But it's all I'm doing. It's going to sound very fancy, but all I'm doing is running a television studio with different reporters feeding in, and so I'm going to show you. I'm now going to switch to a different view, which is what I look like doing this.
Okay.
You should better see me over there. And so it's done with green screen, but so the placeholders are here.
Yes.
The object selection is here.
Yes.
And the movies are here. But if the movies are not needed, then I can just get that out of the way so that I can take notes here. And I don't know if this will show up, but that is how I switch between. So it's what's called a stream deck, which is
Stream Deck.
Well, it's just an old tablet with a bit of software running on it. It was a tablet that was so crappy that we couldn't use it anymore, but it's good enough to run this software. So if I touch a button, it'll switch to me. This is the object selection button. And these are what's called scenes. This is placeholders, no movies. This is placeholders with movies.
And what if you want multiple movies? Can you do that, or is that problematic?
Well, they would just all be. I'll just bring my movies screen back. They would still all be visible, but they would be. What I've been doing is
all on in different places on the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. So I make a sort of mental note to start the movies top left, so that I've got space to do other movies if needed.
Yeah.
But I figured that
you've got quite a lot of space there. They're smaller than mine are, so it gives you quite a lot of space. Yeah, it's great. It's very good.
So it's and that's all it is. And so I've got one camera there, which is the one that I look at. I've got one camera here, which looks down onto the object selection. I've got one camera here, which looks down onto the placeholders view, and I've got one camera here that looks down onto the Hulls and Rolls movies, and then obviously I've got that camera over there, which is just an old mobile phone. You don't need to buy lots of webcams because you can use old mobile phones so long as they're batteries or they've got power supply.
And the only reason for having the camera where we can see you now is just to show me how you do it. Is that right?
We can never show that to a client. That I just rigged that up really quickly so that you could see the context of it.
That's fantastic, Tom. That's really, I'm so impressed. So what's the software on your cheap tablet?
So the software on my cheap tablet is called Deckboard. It's free.
How do you spell that? Deckball or Deckboard?
Deckboard, Deckboard.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you have to load Deckboard onto your computer and Deckboard onto the tablet.
Yep.
And then the two have to be on the same Wi-Fi network.
Yep.
There's nothing that you couldn't do with a mouse, except that I don't want to have to think about that when I'm doing a structure.
Okay.
You know, that's the reason I wanted just a hand to go across and say, you know, choose an object, choose a placeholder for your father. Now you've mentioned him, rather than, oh, I've got to go to the mouse and click the other scene. This is just a quick way of, and also it's got a transition, which is a fade, which makes it a little bit nicer for people.
Can you just show us, is it easy to show us the tablet? Can you just pick up the tablet and put it in front of where your face is?
Yes, I think it's on a short.
Okay,
no, it's all right. I'll move the camera. Tell you what, I know. I'll put it in the holes in rolls view. How about that?
Oh, right. Okay.
So I've made the kind of, let's see if I can turn it so that you could read it.
Yeah, I can read that. So regular therapy, client selection.
Object selection.
Yeah.
Placeholders, no movies. Placeholders with movies. Holes in rolls movie. And this one isn't labeled. It's the one that switches to the to the me view, but that's not a button I need regularly.
And you say you have 4 cameras, is that right? 4 cameras?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, yes.
And 4, including the extra view that Juliet can see Tom, or 4?
No, that's 5. That's 5.
Okay,
that's
so
5
4 for your clients. And when you say you're using old mobile phones,
well, here's the technical problem. You can't plug lots of cameras into just a laptop, because although theoretically you can, but what happens is that they stop working because they overdo the bandwidth available on the USB socket.
Okay.
So you need to be doing it on a fairly juicy big computer, which you can, you know, sometimes with a computer you've got a plug at the front for USB and a plug at the back for USB.
Yes.
They're all just USBs, but they're going to different controllers inside the machine.
Okay.
You can only have 1 camera per controller.
Okay.
Unless you use the mobile phones, which are done by a different system. You can have as many of them as you like. So if you do stuff on a laptop, then I would suggest you use old tablets, old iPhones, anything that's got a camera in it and Wi-Fi that you can hook up using another bit of software called Irian Webcam.
IRIAN. Irian.
IRIUN.
Irian. Okay.
Yeah. But the big piece of software which runs it all is free, and it's called OBS Studio, which is called Open Broadcast Studio.
Okay, OBS Studio. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I saw it, I thought, I'm not going to be able to learn this, but actually, it's not too bad.
Okay.
It allows you to create scenes, which you can then switch between. It's just like sort of over to the weatherman. What have you got for us, Dave? You know, and that's it. It's just running a little television studio. But the beauty of it is, you then feed it into Zoom, and Zoom doesn't know how many people are participating at this end, so you can use your free Zoom account and have as long a structure as you like.
Yes. Very good, Tom. Very good. I'm very impressed. Would you be willing for people to contact you and pay you for your time to talk them through it if they were interested in doing it that way?
Absolutely.
Okay. Super.
I was really hoping to get just 2 minutes to do what I've just done with you. Was it last night? With Sandy?
Yes.
Or was it the night before? Yeah. But didn't happen because they were all the real established people. There weren't so many of the newbies there.
Yeah.
So they're probably either running structures online.
Okay.
There's still lots of technical questions, like what about people using their own objects as roll figures, and how do you de-roll them, and do they remain loaded, and all that.
I prefer people using my objects anyway. because
So do I.
if I've got holes and rolls or principles, I can easily do that. So not holes and rolls, but principles. I can
Yeah,
easily.
I've done principles like moving the principle. So I would say the principle
Yeah.
goes to the thing that this
Yeah.
object here.
Yeah.
But when you get people to sort of have a pillow, does the pillow then become loaded after we've finished the structure, even though we've de-rolled it? Those are the sort of questions I'd love to have a chat about sometime.
I'm going to stop the recording because I think that's unbelievably useful. And thank you very much, Tom, for showing everybody that, because I'll, if it's okay with you,
Yeah.
I'll let people get access to that.
Great. I'm very happy because I mean, I discovered it and it's available and it's free. So it does take a bit of learning, but people could help to get their online structure work going.
Lovely. Thank you. I'm going to say goodbye. Bye-bye, Tom.
Bye.